was something like a 152 on my first exam, and I ended up with a 175. So that's a 23-point increase. It happened slowly over a long period of time, but I think the key breakthroughs for me related to understanding the test more from the test maker's perspective. It did require the repeated exposure to the same questions and analyzing them in excruciating detail. So it really took a tremendous amount of time, but it also wasn't just about taking exam after exam over and over and plateauing and expecting different results. I did that at first, and then after a while, I discovered that it wasn't working, and I admitted to myself that although it was in a way easier because it was just doing the same thing, it wasn't what was going to get me the results. And so once I switched gears and started focusing more on reviewing and analyzing patterns in my mistakes, that's when things really started to change. And that's not really something that I found myself, at least, to have done in other domains in the past. It's a lot more work we do academically is content related rather than argument related or structure related. And of course, writing papers does involve making arguments, but ultimately a lot of it's just backed up by lots of detailed evidence and going to the library and getting books and quoting them and paraphrasing them and incorporating the arguments of different authors. But it doesn't, at least in my experience, it didn't relate as much to the sort of work the LSAT involves. I majored in political science, and most of my classes involved that and other soft humanities, where I was able to get relatively easy A's, and that's part of why I gravitated towards those classes. But yeah, they, in a way, because they were easier and because they weren't as rigorous and defined and mathematical like logic games are, or as the economics would be or math would be. Yeah, I didn't see much overlap. What they have in common, of course, doing well, of course, requires hard work and putting in the time. But I think that for the LSAT, the nature of the work is different, and it's in a way more difficult.